Okay, so I'm going to use this old 1940 movies that I'm just actually watching myself to try to show an example of the differences between the android artificial beings and their artificial God that controls the earth. See, it's very obvious when you look at some of the actors. These are old actors, but it's always been the case, except that, you know, the newer actors might use more body enhancements to emphasize their one-eyed or lack of one-eyed allegiance. This is an old movie. See, we are actually showing our one-eyed allegiance in this particular movie because look at what they're showing you. But, you know, so they actually show it in the movies because they have to show human beings the truth. But they hope that we won't get it, and we don't, and I didn't either. Not until they fully closed down on me and opened themselves up to me because they had no other choice. But that doesn't happen that often. Usually you are targeted, but covertly or secretively or unbeknownst to yourself, being watched, patrolled, controlled, and influenced and mind controlled by those people around you, which are really the artificial servants of the God entity, or by the media, the computer, the television, the information you're given, the news, all that sort of stuff, everything that you think. Like I say, I've never been outside of my own country, but I still know of things in other parts of the world. But I have not seen them things with my own eyes. Not that it would matter because I would be controlled visually as I am with what's around me. But in a way, if most human beings have probably not been everywhere and seen everything, so you still do get a lot from the screen and from the news. And in other words, news is like information that you get from other sources. And usually if you think it comes from a credible source or someone you respect and believe or trust, whatever that may be, you tend to take it as fact. Just as we take this earth to be fact, what we think it is and how we think it works. And only when we realise does more get exposed or more truth come out. But even then it will still be controlled by the matrix, because you will believe the demigods or those that give you the truth. You won't be usually getting the truth from your own kind, from a real life, natural human being. You will be getting it from those that serve the God entity, which are artificial android beings, all of them in human form. All these actors, this is an old movie. All these actors, you can tell it by the physical, the actual android beings have to have an artificial clone body, but it isn't really. It looks exactly like a human body, operates exactly like a real human body. It's flesh and blood, but the proportions and the duality nature of the duality God is shown in a subtle way. Adam and Eve had different proportions to the android artificial beings. In other words, to all these actors. Your movie idols, your music icons, and everyone that is around you, mostly in your reality. But the differences may be more subtle or more obvious depending on, as different human beings vary in their different shapes and sizes, as we all know, according to the environment and according to what they call genetics, I don't know. But the android artificial ones always have the duality look, which they've now promoted extensively in this world anyway. In other words, clothing no longer defines Adam and Eve, or makeup or anything, or the physical things that, can be changed.